receiving rifle rounds from Li Xinqing, Wang Cheng had already loaded 100 rounds into the chamber. 100 rounds were enough to take down these thugs. The thugs were stunned. Wang Cheng didn't even need to get out of the car. He could shoot at them from inside. However, they were also a ruthless bunch. In the chaos, several were shot dead on the spot. But the remaining ones still returned fire. The pinpoint shooting from their bullets caused far more damage to the vehicle than the claws of the mutants, leaving bullet marks on Wang Cheng's vehicle, though they were still far from penetrating it. Wang Cheng transformed into a mobile artillery platform, firing wildly from within the armored vehicle, instantly causing chaos among the thugs. Su Xinghai and Zhang Chao were left dumbfounded. They knew Wang Cheng's car was not ordinary, but they never expected it to be this extraordinary, not only bulletproof, but also equipped with a light machine gun. He could shoot without getting out of the car? At that moment, Su Xinghai finally understood where Wang Cheng's confidence in not fearing a gunfight came from. They were in a vehicle that could withstand and retaliate, while the thugs were on motorcycles made of flesh and iron, lacking any protection. One burst of fire could take one down, yet they couldn't kill the three of them inside the car. In such a situation, they were already invincible. What was there to fear about a firefight? Just open fire and eliminate as many as they could. In an instant, 5 out of 8 motorcycles fell, with 5 thugs lying in a pool of blood, while the remaining 2 fled in a frenzy, completely forgetting their earlier arrogance. The bald man in charge had already been shot down, with 5 or 6 bullet holes in his body, blood pooling around him. He was lifeless, with only muscle spasms remaining. Wang Cheng's first shot was directed at him, and naturally, he bore the brunt of it. Until his death, the bald man's face still bore an expression of disbelief. They had been rampant for over 10 days. Yet they were taken down by 3 unremarkable survivors and a seemingly comical Wuling mini-vehicle. He couldn't understand it, nor could he believe it. Of course, what he couldn't understand the most was this vehicle. It was already armored, but how could it also have a machine gun? The woman, however, was still alive. Though she had been hit in the abdomen, she was desperately crawling on the ground, leaving a long trail of blood, eventually stopping under a nearby streetlight, leaning against it, looking in Wang Cheng's direction, coughing up blood continuously. Her gun had long since fallen to the ground. Wang Cheng stopped firing the machine gun and opened the car door, stepping out with a titanium alloy dagger in hand. He picked up the gun that the woman had dropped, wiped the blood off with the clothes of the bald man, and tucked it into his pocket. After the recent gunfire, he had used over 50 rounds and didn't want to waste any more ammunition. He walked step by step to the streetlight. The woman was gasping heavily, despairing and desolate. She actively lifted her clothes and trembled as she said, "Please don't kill me. Save me, save me. I can do anything you want. I have a great figure. Look, you can see I never intended to harm you. It was all those bastards forcing me. I'm not with them." Her voice suddenly stopped. Her eyes widened in disbelief. This was because Wang Cheng, without saying a word, directly slit her throat. He didn't believe her words. If she had truly been forced, she wouldn't have shot at that moment. Wang Cheng hadn't reached the point of losing his senses. He was just deeply worried. The situation had deteriorated so much. He didn't know how his parents were doing. 2 thugs had escaped, but Wang Cheng didn't plan to chase them down. Having killed the leader, pursuing them would only waste time. However, after killing the woman, he didn't leave immediately. Instead, he furrowed his brows and looked around under the streetlight. Just before he killed her, he had heard a system prompt indicating the discovery of a special high-energy creature, and hunting it could yield a special serum and an energy point. But where were the monsters around here? Wang Cheng furrowed his brows deeply. He had already experienced the benefits of the special serum. It was an important way to directly enhance his abilities, and he didn't want to miss the opportunity. If he could get extra, it would also help Zhang Chao and Su Xinghai enhance themselves again. After pondering for a moment, Wang Cheng suddenly thought of something and looked up sharply. He saw that above the streetlight where he was standing, there was a bird's nest the size of a basketball, and in it was a blood-red creature resembling a sparrow but several times larger. Tilting its head to look at him, when it saw Wang Cheng looking at it, it even let out a strange squawk. Wang Cheng narrowed his eyes. It must be it. No wonder it was only worth 1 energy point. It turned out to be such a small creature. But could such a small thing also have a special serum? It wouldn't be flight capability, would it? Wang Cheng thought for a moment and slowly aimed his pistol at it. The strange bird didn't seem to understand what Wang Cheng was doing, appearing dazed and oblivious to fear even with the gun pointed at it, instead curiously staring at him with its slightly frightening crimson eyes, looking left and right. Until, with a bang, Wang Cheng's marksmanship was precise. With 1 shot, he took down the small bird, its head pierced cleanly, falling right into its own nest. He was momentarily stunned. The streetlight stood 5 meters tall, and to obtain the serum, he needed to get its body down. Su Xinghai and Zhang Chao behind him were confused about what Wang Cheng was doing. The sky was about to darken, and after eliminating a group of thugs, he was now shooting birds in the street. Then, Wang Cheng, using both hands and feet, began to climb the streetlight. Previously, he wouldn't have been able to do this, but now, with enhanced physical abilities and incredible strength, he relied solely on brute force to ascend. He instructed Su Xinghai and Zhang Chao to provide cover while he went up to retrieve the bird's nest. Zhang Chao, dumbfounded, exclaimed, "Second brother, did you kill a beautiful woman and are now venting your frustration? Or do you want to eat roasted bird? That bird is clearly mutated. You can't eat it." Hearing Zhang Chao's words, Wang Qing's mouth twitched, almost causing him to fall off the streetlight. Just then, a series of system notifications rang in his mind. "Dear host, a special mutated creature has been detected. Killing it can yield special serum and 55 energy points." "Dear host, a special mutated creature has been detected. Killing it can yield special serum and 55 energy points." Wang Chung was momentarily taken aback. Sensing something was amiss, he looked up and saw two terrifying, blood-red monster birds swooping down from the horizon. Their crimson eyes were almost identical to the one Wang Chung had just killed, but they were many times larger, each with a wingspan exceeding 5 meters and a body length close to that of a car. Screaming wildly, they charged at Wang Chung recklessly. Wang Chung gasped. It turned out he had only killed a small one. Zhang Chao shouted, "Second brother, this is bad. Its parents are coming for revenge. Get down quickly." As the dark sky loomed, Wang Chung initially didn't notice the two giant mutated birds diving down until their chilling screams pierced the darkness. Only then did he realize he had become the target of these two monstrous creatures. These giant mutated birds were clearly enlarged versions of the small one he had just taken down, casting ominous shadows over him. The sky hadn't fully darkened, yet Wang Qing's vision was already engulfed in darkness. At this moment, he had climbed over 4 meters up the 5-meter streetlight pole, the nest within reach. But faced with the imminent attack, he found himself in a precarious situation. The two mutated giant birds, with their blood-red eyes, clearly possessed more intelligence than the human mutants and were descending in fury, seeking revenge. "Get down," Zhang Chao yelled, firing his gun wildly. Su Xinghai, like an ant on a hot pan, desperately shot water arrows. Wang Chung was equally anxious. In a critical moment, he still refused to give up on the easily obtainable small mutated bird. While that small mutated bird wasn't worth much in energy points, it was invaluable for the precious special serum it contained. That serum could enhance him more than 5 or 6 energy points could. Wang Chung harnessed the immense power and speed granted by the strength serum and speed serum, leaping directly from a streetlight over 4 meters high. He knocked aside a bird's nest and grabbed the corpse of a mutated chick, which was already lifeless, urgently extracting the special serum while plummeting downwards. Using his other hand to grip the streetlight pole, he slowed his descent with brute force, causing his palm to break and bleed profusely, yet he managed to land steadily. Behind him, the two giant birds became even more frenzied, letting out piercing cries as they dove down. Zhang Chao and Su Xinghai were stunned. "Old Wang, you're too obsessed. What do you want with that mutated bird's corpse? Isn't this just angering them more? Less talk, get in the car." Wang Chung rolled on the ground just as one giant bird crashed down where he had just been, its mutated claws more terrifying than iron, instantly shattering the hard asphalt. Wang Chung felt his scalp tingle, fully aware that if that claw landed on him, it would surely tear through flesh and organs, spilling blood everywhere. The two mutated giant birds continued to shriek as they took off, recklessly diving towards him. The wind from their wings knocked Su Xinghai, an awakened individual with above-average physical capabilities, off balance, almost toppling him to the ground. "Get in the car." Seeing this, Zhang Chao and Su Xinghai were both dumbstruck. Su Xinghai shouted, "Aren't you going to throw away their chick's corpse?" At that moment, Wang Chung tossed aside the mutated bird's corpse. The serum was already in hand. He glanced at the system prompt, frowning. This time, the name of the extracted special serum was surprisingly, Special Serum Unknown Type. Unknown? The system can't scan everything? However, there was no time to think about it. Wang Chung successfully drew the attention of the two giant birds by throwing the mutated chick, causing them to momentarily cease their pursuit and land beside their offspring, touching its body with their claws and wings as if trying to awaken it. Unfortunately, the chick had already been shot dead by Wang Chung, and after the serum extraction, its body had shriveled significantly. A light touch would signal its imminent disintegration, which was quite alarming. The two mutated giant birds let out a heart-wrenching wail, their eyes growing increasingly blood-red. At this moment, the trio had taken the opportunity to board the battleship. Wang Chung wasted no time, activating his Wuling battleship and accelerating away. Through the rearview mirror, he saw the two mutated giant birds take off, their blood-red wings blocking out the sun. Then, in the darkened world, their bodies began to glow faintly, as if fiery red veins were coursing through them. Suddenly, boom! Wang Chung sharply turned the steering wheel. Two terrifying fire beams shot out from the mouths of the two mutated giant birds, hurtling down at high speed in midair. Wang Chung swiftly dodged the first attack. as a fiery blast struck the ground like a bomb.